Hi YouTube, this is VidHead85 and I want to talk a little bit about the rich and how I feel about taxing them. Of course I'm all in favor because they pay a lower tax rate than I do, but I want to tell you a little bit about something that happened regarding my conviction for that. This gentleman, by the last name of Ivanov, he had responded to a picture that I posted with I'm sick of your hate, why are you hateful of rich people? You're blocked. And he was responding to a post that I had that had a bottle of Tide with the logo and everything, and it said, "Get stubborn tea stains out." And then a friend of mine took that logo and put Santorum instead of "Get stubborn tea stains out," "Get stubborn Santorum stains out." And then I commented on that because I thought it was funny. I'm like, what? I thought it washed out. So Ivanov responds with a Tide, "Get stubborn tea stains out," with "I'm tired of your hate," and you're blocked. Now he's got money, okay? And he always makes it seem as if we're begrudging the fact that people have money and that people, work for their money and blah, 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 as his parents are doctors and whatever. And he has some kind of business or something that he does, which I don't begrudge him that's his success. That's okay. When I become successful, if I have a lot more money than I know what to do with, I want to spend it on things that will be for the betterment of society. Now, what I begrudge is that they don't. They suck up money that they can do without, pay no taxes, and get all these rebates from our government. Now, Mitt Romney he paid little to no taxes and got $77,000 back for a horse. $77,000. Do you know what I could do with $77,000? I could buy a house for that. Not only that, but hell, I could move into a better place. If I were getting $77,000 a year no matter what I did, man, you better believe that would be like bank, okay? It would be like what? $6,000 every month? Are you kidding me? You know what I could do with that? But the one thing we need to do is we need to reform the tax code big time. Like, that needs an overhaul because the richer individuals are paying no taxes, and that's just wrong. Like, Mitt Romney pays about 13% of his income in taxes, and I pay at least 20. $7 an hour. Minimum wage in New York. We also need to end subsidies by voting those into office who will just do it, who will just end them. And like Democrats and moderate Republicans. And of course they said that they were going to focus on jobs, but they haven't done yet, so I would just stick with the Democrats on that. Voter ID laws need to go. They disenfranchise younger voters in college, especially some of them who may be out-of-state college students who may just have their college ID and not a state issue or government issue voter ID or any government issue kind of ID. Elderly ones who do not have a birth certificate, like one in Pennsylvania and another one in Tennessee who was born with a midwife. That is on Think Progress. And also those who may not have a government issue ID for whatever reason. We need to elect a Congress that will work with our president and not obstruct what he's trying to do. President Obama is trying to do so much, but the House and the Senate are playing a political ping pong with one another. It's mostly the Republicans who are doing everything they can to make Obama a one-term president. Now, if Obama was Republican, they would say how he's doing such a good job. He's how he toppled Osama bin Laden and Gaddafi, and he brought our soldiers home, and how he averted a second Great Depression and a housing crisis like that in 3 years. He did what it took Reagan 5 to do. He spent in 3 years and got himself out of that housing crisis within 3 years. It took Reagan 5. And not only that, but he's got 40 times the debt that Reagan had. So, if anything, I think Obama's doing a pretty damn good job. And speaking of Reagan, Bush the first and the second, all fiscal conservatives raised our national debt while the liberal spender gave us a surplus. So, I mean, all these people who are trying to keep money in the hands of their rich colleagues, put us in more debt because of those tax cuts. The same way that Scott Walker put Wisconsin in debt with all these tax cuts. Governor Doyle left in 2010 with a hefty surplus that the Wisconsinites could put wherever they needed. And then here comes Scott Walker with his big scythe to the surplus and said, yeah, we're just going to give tax cuts to all these rich people who don't even need them. So you know what? Yeah, let's just do that. The next part is Dale Carnegie and many other richer individuals did what was better for society, and today's rich want to hoard their money. We got to stop these oil subsidies and put them into schools, healthcare, grant money for college, take banks as a third party away from the student loan portion of things, because I think if anything, the federal government should be the ones to regulate those loans. People may say that that's unfair government intrusion or whatever, but we got to have something where we deal directly, because these banks are just getting way too much money, charging all these students all this money in order to loan them all the money that they need for college. Now, personally, I also feel that credit cards should be eliminated. We should just get rid of them. However, if you pay off a balance in maybe 1 or 2 payments, then your credit is pretty much your credit goes pretty nice. And we need to promote financial literacy above all else too, especially. Now, minority groups, we need to cross-pollinate and hold politicians accountable for how they treat the other minority groups. Gay and lesbian community and the black and Latino communities, they can say, hey, listen, if you disenfranchise one of us, you disenfranchise all of us. And I don't think we would see so many of the anti-gay laws being passed, because they would have more than one constituency to answer to. So they may say, the gays, and this, but wait a minute, I don't want to alienate the black and Latino vote, so we're not going to pass this law. They thrive on divide and conquer because they know that it can win the day. We need to prove to them and show them that it will not. So those are some points on what I think we can do to get rid of some of this money in politics, but we definitely have to do a lot. We have an uphill battle for us, but we can get through it, and we can get the money out of politics. We just have to fight harder than we ever have now that money is basically trying to get the leg up on all of us. So rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, YouTube. Bye-bye.